Okay, now, I think we're getting to the point where we now need to start bringing in information to the table and start having discussions regarding these other impacts. And I guess what I'm seeing the process would be that, we do independent research. If we bring in documents, but with like a summarized report on it, and then we share that with our group, we talk about it, and then we maintain that as part of our document collection process. We can associate it with the certain impacts, so that as we get through this process, we'll have a composite of information. And from there, we go back through and provide a summarized report with that to the board. And so that's where I see that we're going, the next steps would be to do that, because I think that we need to have a lot of dialogue, for instance, on setbacks. What's the purpose of a setback? What constitutes a good setback? What documentation is there available that talks about one setback versus another? What are the different issues or associated information with that, so that we can start building, that information flow to be able to pass it up to the board. And so I see that as being, our next steps. And I think there's a lot of information that, we're going to get a lot of information back from the impact letters, but I think that there's a lot of information already that we can get our hands on, that we can come and share together.
Right.
And my thinking is that, we have a summarized view of it, because, some of these documents that I've seen, are 100 pages long, but the real key information in there, we might be able to say in 2 paragraphs.
Right.
The real, how that would relate to us and how that would impact us.
Right.
So I'm thinking that that's where I would like to see us go, to start collecting this information and talk about it. We have the dialogue on it, and then, that way we can have all this similar type of information on a subject matter, and then we can work it through to what we see as the relevant information to pass up to our board. Any discussions on that? Questions?
How are we gonna do this? Are we gonna take, all of us take the top 10, go home and then come back in a month? Or are we gonna divide them up? That's the...
Okay, here's what I'm thinking, is I think we go through this list and we pick what we see are the highest priority. And I think that we do that based on the effect of health, safety, and welfare first of our residents. And then, we'll see which ones of those we find as the priority ones and work them first. And then we can, once we've done our process on that information, we can move on as we have time, because I know that we're working on a time limit. But as we have time, we can work on some of these other ones that might not be quite as a significant impact on the residents, but might be for the township in total. For instance, damage to roads. It's a township issue, and but is it as large of a concern as what we might have from setbacks that might be too short?
Right.
So that's kind of what.
Well, the roads are gonna get repaired one way or another. And the developers have already agreed that they repair them up to a certain extent. They'll be in the, as long as that's in the final document that they do that, that's fine, But it'd be, like you said, noise level, setback, shadow flicker,
Those are the top ones, I think, that most people would be concerned about.
And work from them, and as we work through that list.
like ice throw,
Yeah.
the grass landing strips, I don't know if that's that important. That's only a few stakeholders comparatively to all. I mean, maybe that's one we go a little later on, you know. And some of these are gonna get answered from our letters, so we can eliminate some of those until we get the letters in. Environmental and wildlife, because there's a lot of people concerned about that.
And we need to also think about our drainage ditches out here because of the way.
Well, because of
Yeah.
the farms and everything
Right.
else, and drainage ditches. I don't know, we got ditches. What about residential water sources?
Yes, that should
So 3, 4, 9. This is just the ones I'm looking at. I'm saying out loud. I'll go and be quiet, and then everybody else can come up with theirs.
be. Well, the special setbacks for residents with special needs too.
Got 3, 4, 9, 10, 12, 13, 17, 24, and 40.
Got 10 there?
I got 9 altogether. 3, 4, 9, 10, 12, 13, 17, 24, and 40. That's what I have. Now, if there's one that somebody else, so those are just the ones that I saw. That's a nice even equal numbers, 9 or 10. I mean, 10 would be a lot less, that's fine. But we got almost 50 of the risks and concerns on here. Like I said, some will be answered by the
That electric transmission line placement, number 42, that might be a issue to think about too. More than what, just thinking about it.
right. Put them.
Where to put them, if they're going to be some above ground, some below ground.
That would be part of the project plans.
Yeah,
Right.
we won't know that until we get that written out.
That gives us a list of 10. I don't know, Morris, you
Yeah.
got anything you want to add to it, or is there anything you want to take away from it? Right?
I would say it all starts with setback.
I agree.
Flows down from there.
I think that's the top priority is the setback.
A lot of things fall away. That's correct.
Right.
So on the setbacks, we could actually piggyback some things in there to help explain setbacks,
Right.
which would be like the health risk, for noise. I mean, those could kind of be all part of the same dialogue.
Property value.
I would say property
Did we do
values
that
is
or
the
not? Was
first
that
one.
one of the other ones?
Yeah.
Property values is the big one. But was that one of the ones I mentioned?
I think though, I think we need to get a mouthful of this that we can actually chew into and not get too much,
Right,
at least initially until we see how it goes.
right.
But property values are
They,
important.
they are important. I think that, before we would wrap up our information gathering, I think that we would want to address that.
Right, no, I wasn't saying, I was just looking at the ones that were gonna cost the health, safety, and welfare immediately, I guess is the ones I were looking at. And the property value is, could be, I guess, health, safety, welfare doesn't really fall under that necessarily, other than people not having enough money to pay for the health,
Well,
safety and welfare themselves. I mean, it'd basically be under welfare, I
It's
guess.
part of welfare.
Welfare, but, initially, well, this is just something to start out with. We have all these other, I'm not saying anything bad about, I'm saying, we want to do the health impacts first, and then the safety impacts second, and the welfare third. I mean, that's another way to do it too.
I think we should start out with those setbacks, and then, like you said, coordinate anything we can underneath it too.
Okay, so,
Because setbacks also involve people's property value.
It does.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
but, well, and I understand that. Primary focus on setbacks would be noise and shadow flicker. So that's 9 and 10. "12" is the setbacks, so
Right.
that would be in there. We talked about on 13, which is the property values of coming back to that.
mhm.
17 would be relating to setbacks.
So you're looking at 9, 10, 12, 13, 9,
9,
12,
10, 9, 10,
12,
12,
and 17 right now.
17. I think ISO, number 40 would be covered by setbacks.
Right.
Risk of ISO, because I think that there's probably a certain distance that we could,
That's part of 39.
Yeah.
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 if not all.
So now we're 9, 10, 12.
Are we focusing maybe on 5 core issues here so that we can each take one? Is that what you're
Well, I think everybody should do their own on all of them.
And then,
Out of all I see.
On all of them,
And
because
that's-
everybody may come up with different research. I
Okay.
mean, you see, that I think, everybody brings in there because I may have something different than anybody else here.
Okay.
and I was thinking that same thing, is that because we're all gonna go to different places,
Mhm.
looking for
Right.
information.
Okay.
Right.
Now, we might we might have common information too.
Right.
Right.
But this helps to give us a broader spectrum
So right now I
to
got
bring back to the table.
9, 10, 12, 17, 39, and 40,
Yeah.
right?
9, 10, 12, 17, 39, and 40.
Okay.